I don't know how we're recording this thing because I don't have a Skype recorder.
I do. I'm recording both sides.
Woohoo!
See, that's what you get for having a producer on.
I told Doug that I've been recording with 3 other people now, and if I just play dumb enough, they do all the work, and it's been great.
Take your victory lap because you definitely have been dumb for 3 weeks. That's been awesome.
So, all right, this is gonna be fun.
Well, I figured you've had all of these years with somebody shitting all over you for 2 hours a week. Why stop now?
That's exactly right. So I know that our show is normally super prepared, but I got nothing to talk about.
Awesome. This is going to be what we call a mini episode.
Why? Me and Doug stretch nothing out into 2 hours sometimes.
That is so true. That is so true. I could just, sit there and have it, my podcatcher just, playing in the background. And then all of a sudden I realized I really wasn't listening for the last 20 minutes and I missed nothing.
I don't believe that for a minute. I think you're intently hanging on every word.
Yeah, a man could dream.
Oh.
So how you doing, man?
This is the first time doing all right.
This is the first time we've ever talked.
Right. Yes, I'm doing okay. Just got out of bed about a half hour ago. I'm doing good.
So I get sleepy Anthony. Perfect. Great.
Right. Don't worry. When me and Doug record, it's about a half an hour after I get out of bed every time. So it's going to be exactly the same.
Good. Set the expectations low. Low bar.
Right. I got to be to work tonight at 10:30. So
10:30. Wow.
Yes.
Jeez. Oh, that's brutal. That is absolutely brutal.
10:30 to 7.
Wow. So you have like these shifts that go back and forth between different. I don't understand how your shifts work because you just got out of bed. It's 4:00 now. So you have a different shift during the week than you do the weekend. How's that work?
Nope. I have weekends off. But I stay on the same schedule. If I go back to a first shift schedule for the weekend, it fucks me all up. You know what I mean?
I got you. So let's turn the tables a little bit and spend 3 or 4 hours shitting at Doug.
I don't know that I can do that. Is that I'm not sure that would be acceptable.
No, it wouldn't be very nice.
I never shit on Doug. Oh, that's not true. That's not true. I can shit on Doug for 3 or 4 hours, but I can't let you.
Oh, well, Doug and I are close. So, it's okay.
You're telling me that Doug and you were close. So that makes it all better.
Exactly.
Okay. Now I understand where you're coming from.
So he's coming back next week?
Yes. He texted me, I don't know, yesterday, day before. Said he was coming back next week. I'm like, fucking sweet, man. That's awesome.
Yeah. So
can't wait.
I don't wreck the show before he has, nothing to come back to. So I'll try not to fuck this up.
As long as we're not recording, I can say that you can't do much worse than John or Shiznick guy.
No, this isn't recording at all. Don't worry about it. Perfect.
No, this isn't recording at all. I think those are like famous last words, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'll take this out in post. Yeah, I got that. I got that covered.
Now I know that's not true. Oh, fuck me.
Oh, this is awesome, man. This is great. A chance to talk to the great Anthony, the what I'll call the bottom half of Who's Right. That's awesome.
I'm a power bottom. What can I say?
Yeah, you're kind of a power bottom. That's all right, though.
That's right. I don't even know what that means, but it sounds super cool.
It is. Chuck Norris coined the term, I think. So you're good.
All right.
See, it's a win-win situation.
Whether that's true or not.
Oh, it's totally not true.
I didn't think so, but it sounds good enough to be believable.
So I have a theory, and you're going to have to either tell me it's a right theory, wrong theory, or you have a different theory. So,
all right.
I figured that Doug took all his GoFundMe money and hit over the Mexican border and is watching donkey shows and getting hookers. Tell me if you think that's right.
All except for the hookers.
Oh, that's right. He's married. Yeah, he wouldn't get hookers. Donkey shows, though. Okay.
Donkey for sure.
And I'm guessing Venezuela. There's where the dirty ones are.
Is that right?
I don't know this by fact.
I've been to Tijuana one time, and it was I can see them fucking donkeys over there.
Oh, you actually went to Tijuana? How bad was it?
So we stayed there for like 4 hours because I didn't want to be there long enough to have to eat any food or drink any water. So we walked over the border, and immediately I was like, okay, I'm done. We've seen Tijuana. We can go. My wife's like, no, we're here. We're fucking staying for at least a little while. We walked around and all the shops, and I bought a Rolex. And
sure. Were you sure it was a Rolex? Was it spelled with a Batman symbol?
It said Rolex, and it said $90 for the price tag, and I was like, oh, $90. And she's like, well, I can do 60. I was like, oh man. She's like, well, I can do 30. I was like, I got like $16. And she's like, okay, $16. So I bought a Rolex for $16. And when she handed it to me, I'm pretty sure a little bit of it disintegrated because it was that cheap.
Yeah, that's it's Rolex made by Casio, I think.
Yeah. if even Casio.
I've never been to Mexico. I've been to South America, been to Chile, but have never kind of hit in the middle there. So Tijuana always seemed a little scary to me. I don't know. Maybe it's just I see too many movies.
But I went before, or this was before you needed a pass. I mean, it was way pre 9/11, so I haven't flown since 9/11, obviously. So I don't know how it is now. I don't know. When we went, we just literally just walked over the border and walked back. We parked on one side. They got a parking lot in San Diego, I think, and then walked over and walked back.
Let me get this right. You have not flown since 9/11.
No, and I've only flown once in my life. We flew to Vegas when I got married in whatever year that was, a long time ago, and then that's it.
Wow. So you do like vacation drives? How do you get around?
Yes.
Oh, you drive everywhere. All right.
Yeah.
So you don't leave the country is what you're saying.
No, we're going to plan a trip to either Japan or Germany. We haven't decided. My wife wants to go to Japan or Germany. I want to go to Japan. So one of these days, our next trip is going to be in Niagara Falls, and we're going to drive. I'd rather drive.
Oh,
road trips are awesome.
Road trips can be cool, but are you taking the kids?
Oh, for sure.
Oh, then that's going to suck. Oh,
I like my kids.
Oh, I'm sure you do. I have kids too. I love my kids, but my kids in the car, it's like I'd like to get one of those panels that go right up the back seat so I don't have to listen to them. Jesus.
They can push the buzzer when they need you.
Oh, no. I push the buzzer when I want to hear them. There's a difference.
How old are your kids?
Oh, my kids are way older. My daughter's 26, my son is 23, and my youngest is a third-year college student. So, yeah. But they're all out of the house.
3 kids. Holy shit.
3 and all out of the house.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. There's a light at the end of the tunnel, buddy.
Yeah, my daughter's 12 and my son's 11, so I still got a little ways.
Oh, yeah, you're screwed. You're screwed, and you're right in the middle of the electronics phase. So Christmas costs you about $10,000. Nice.
And then I don't see them for a week.
Oh, there's an upside.
Yeah. I had to go in my son's room just right now before I came in here and told him to get off his Xbox because we don't have enough bandwidth for him to play Xbox, my wife to watch Netflix, and me to record this podcast.
Did you ask him also why he starches his socks? Or maybe he doesn't.
I already know the answer to that.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Just don't bring a black light into his room.
Right.
Oh, God, man. At that age, I think I was fucking fruit. Jesus.
Oh,
man.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Anything that wouldn't fight back.
Yeah. Oh, nice. That's the Anthony I know.
Right. Don't you feel like you know me just from listening to the show?
Yeah, a portion of you. I mean, we hear what we hear on the podcast, right? Not everyone, tells everything about themselves on podcasts, and I know that to be true about, I think, every podcast right now. They just let just enough out.
Oh, yeah, just enough to be fun, and just enough to where you don't really know if that's true or not. It could be true.
Right, exactly.
That's what I like the best. I'm like, man, that could, if that's true, that's fucked up.
It's like leading a Facebook life, right? You only show the good stuff. Here's me eating ice cream. Here's me petting a kitten.
I got no Facebook account, man. I'm not a social media guy. That part is true.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you shun the social media.
Right. I have no friends in real life. Why the fuck would I need fucking virtual friends? It's stupid.
How are you on a podcast? How did this even happen?
I have no. I've told this story a million times. I was looking at last podcast on the left. They make $40,000 a month in their podcast, and I sent a screenshot to Doug, and he said, "Let's do a podcast." And that is literally how this thing started, and that's not even an exaggeration.
So you were waiting for the Brinks truck to back up, and that's what you thought was going to happen. And now you're on a podcast, and you're now.
We got like
I think
$16 a month coming in.
Yeah, your Patreon Brinks truck is backing up. It's beautiful,
right? and I tell people I ain't doing it for the money. Every week I say that. But give me money. I mean, come on.
I swear, I asked Doug, I'm like, this GoFundMe thing, because I had to set it up because he had no internet access and did the whole thing for him. And I go,
yeah, that was
dude,
awesome.
You got to promise me that this isn't like just some big, ruse so that you can make money at the podcast.
Did you really say that?
I did.
As he's canoeing down to his house.
As he's removing shit stains from his, his couch from all the sewage that is backed up into his home. Yeah.
He doesn't even live in North Carolina.
I'm a swell guy. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, he's he's still in Illinois. Yeah, douchebag.
Me and him are gay lovers, and you don't even know it.
Right. Yeah, you're sharing a flat.
He lives here.
You're actually sharing a flat in Soho. Bastard.
Perfect. God, that would be amazing if that was true. What kind of shitty person would you be? Oh, God.
The kind of shitty person who tells everyone that is going and spending money on Patreon to stop it. Same guy.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I was kind of pissed off about that.
Oh, I kind of heard that. Yeah.
You gotta be kidding me. What are you doing?
If he shows up next week with a new tattoo, I swear I'm going to clock him.
He's going to have a ring. Kiss my ring.
Mm-hmm. He's going to have a new Rolex. $16.
This is already going to be way funner than recording with Brian Trammell. Did you listen to that show?
I heard the first 10 minutes, and then I think I had to go wash my cat. I had to go do something else.
I got to get out of here. Yeah. I haven't listened back to it. I couldn't. It was hard enough just recording it. It sucks because I really like Brian. I think he's a great guy. Like I told him on the show, I'd never listened to his podcast because it's about wrestling and wrestling's gay. But I think he's a great guy. But it was fucking brutal.
Doug told me that he sent me a text that said, "I just listened to our last episode. I unsubscribed."
Oh my God. I didn't mind recording the one with John. That was okay. It was a good time. I don't know how it turned out. I didn't listen back to it either, but
no,
I don't mind.
It was great. So anyway, I was thinking about some other topics for the show.
Perfect.
No,
I think this
great.
is the perfect topic for the show.
Yeah, exactly. That is a you topic. Let's shit all over something and then bury it in the ground, unbury it, and then shit on it one last time.
Right. Let's do that.
Perfect. So, do you know that
no, I had planned this whole show to talk bad about you?
Oh, that's cool. I'm up for that. There's all kinds of shit you could talk about.
I got nothing to say though.
Yeah, you really don't know me, do you?
No, I'm such a nice guy. I got nothing to say. You know. I did listen to not recently, before probably like 2 weeks into our podcast, I listened to an episode of the Unwritable Rant.
Wow,
it was
I'm shocked.
I know. Best of episode, I think. There was like 3, there was a story about a church and she nailed a frog to a church or something.
Close enough. Yeah, a bunny to a cross. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Frog, bunny, whatever. Like I said, it was a long time ago.
Yeah, great. He's got
I
a
was
memory like a
all I
goldfish.
could, yeah, right. All I could think was that is not what I expected. That's, that's, this is not the story that I expected to hear.
Yeah, you seem like you're more the interview type guy because there's interviews on the show and then she tells her stories. You seem more like a guy who would dig the interviews.
For sure. Oh, for sure. I love WTF, Mark Maron, and
Oh, there you go.
and Joe Rogan. I love Joe Rogan actually.
Yeah, I listen to him a lot too.
Yeah. Sam Harris. Do you listen to Sam Harris?
I don't even know who that is.
No. Boy, you should. It's funny. Well, it's not funny. I'm sorry. It's a good show. I always interchange words that don't mean the same thing. It's a good show.
Oh, then thank you for that. That makes you gay. I interchange words too.
Yeah. Perfect. It's not a funny show. I'm telling you. It's an intellectual show. Not funny at all.
How'd you catch on to it then?
I like intellectual shit. Just because I can't speak words good.
And there's the phrase that pays.
Right.
Sam Harris. I'll have to look that one up.
I'm a deep intellectual, but that's all I got. That's all I got.
You made your point.
Right. Twice now.
Yeah. So speaking of podcasts, do you know what today is? I know you don't because you don't give a shit about podcasts.
It's not Valentine's Day, so nope.
It is International Podcast Day that we're recording on.
Really?
Do you know what that is?
No. I mean, I have no idea.
It's the one day a year that you could tell people that you're a podcaster and they don't run for the fucking hills. No, it's a real thing. It's a hashtag. If you look up the hashtag on Twitter later on today,
Jesus.
it's podcasters.
Does that mean the show's going to go viral?
I'll make sure to use the hashtag when I retweet it.
Woohoo! Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I don't think I've retweeted our last 12 shows. So,
and you have like 3 followers, and I think 2 of them are your pets.
I know. No, Abby, she follows me. You know her. Do you know her?
I don't know Abby. No, who's that?
She was the one who, when she first started following Doug and I, she loves the show, and she was telling Doug that he needs to kill himself and drink bleach, and like I didn't know if she was serious or. And we like talked about her on the show, and then she got kind of upset that we talked about her on the show, and then she stopped saying stuff like that and started saying all kinds of nice things.
Well,
it was fucking weird.
Oh, she started out sounding like a fun chick.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. She was always sending him like, "Oh, you should drink bleach." I'm like, what the fuck is this girl's problem?
Jesus,
I mean, obviously
dark.
she was joking, but yeah, but I mean. I think you should know somebody at least a little bit before you start joking about telling them to kill themselves. I mean, I'm okay with joking about killing yourself. That's funny, but you should at least know them first.
Oh yeah, Doug and I have I'll call it a special relationship that we bust each other's.
Tie your shoes for you.
Oh well, we bust each other's balls incessantly. I mean, it's nonstop. Anytime he calls me, we start off by ball busting. I think we always end up with ball busting. And there's at least one suicide reference I make in every call that we have together. Whether it's hey, how's the strength of your beams after the hurricane, kinds of stuff, down to hey, I got some extra rope in the garage. I don't know what to do with it. Can I mail it to you? And it's just constant. And well, he rails me and stuff that I won't tell you about because then that's what this episode will turn on to. So my mother raised short kids, not stupid ones.
Oh boy. How did you? How long have you been doing this? How long have you been podcasting? And do you have your own show that you record on?
3 years, and I hope these questions are going to get harder. Jesus Christ!
Right.
Holy shit!
I know. I'm a good interviewer.
You're like Charlie Rose with a head injury.
I don't get the reference.
Oh, okay. He's an interviewer. That's all right. No, I've been, let's see, this podcast, The Unreadable Rant, has been on for 3 years. We just hit our 3-year anniversary, and that's how long I've been doing it. I don't have my own show. I just, people have asked me if, to guest host on other shows or do other shows or to be on a show, but I will never have my own show. Never. Nah, it's too much freaking work. Have one.
No, it's not. It's easy.
Well, yeah, for you. You don't do shit.
Yeah, so get one of them shows.
All right. Who's right? Part 2. All right, I'm in.
It'll be me and you.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Exactly. We're just going to see how this one takes us. And then once we win our potty award, I'm sure there's such a thing, that we'll start our own show.
Oh, International Podcast Day. So when I tell people at where I work
Yeah.
that I have a podcast,
Yes.
the first response usually is, "What's that?"
Right.
Sometimes I get, "Oh," and then they start to talk about something else. Like they don't give a shit.
Mm-hmm.
They're all technologically deficient.
Makes sense.
Yeah. That's it.
That
was the whole story. That was the whole story. I got nothing.
A story usually
what?
has, let me tell you how a story works. Story
All right,
has
you tell
a hero.
Oh, boy.
Okay. That's how you started. Yeah, because somebody's got to be the hero in the story. Then you have to have a journey. And you got to take people on a journey. Then you have to have, and I'm just going to keep this down to 3. It's usually 5 elements, but you have to have a fucking ending. Okay? So next time you tell one of these things, think about the ending first. How do you want to close up that fucking story? And then you roll it back.
I barely think about the beginning as I'm telling it. Are you fucking kidding me?
All right. That's fair enough. Yeah, I understand. Yeah,
Plus, if I took your advice, what kind of show would we have? We would have the show like everybody else's show. Now, what fun is that?
A good one.
but no fun to record. If we recorded a show that everybody that everybody liked, it would be so boring. You know what I mean? First of all, this is a fiction because I could never do that. You can tell how I'm talking right now. I can't even fucking talk. I could never carry a show like that. Second of all, it would be super boring.
Anthony, excuse me for a moment. This little story is brought to you by Spunk Lube. Spunk Lube?
Nope. I'm bleeping that part out.
I know. Yeah, you're anti-sponsor, aren't you?
Absolutely. I absolutely am.
Tell me, I've heard it on the show, but I still don't understand it. It makes no freaking sense to me because you say that you do want to make money on the show, but then you say, yes, I don't want to have a sponsor.
Right. So we have, as a society, as a culture, as a whatever you want to call it, we've moved to a model where everybody thinks they should get everything for free, internet wise. All the content should be free, which means that it has to be sponsored by advertisers, which means that the advertisers ultimately control the content. Yeah, and fuck that. That's stupid. I don't want to listen to content that is controlled by Casper Mattress. That's the joke. We always say Casper Mattress. But what if, I know this wouldn't happen for us, but what if Monsanto decided that they wanted to get in on sponsoring podcasts?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's not right. You can't have content that's controlled by. What if Facebook wanted to sponsor podcasts? What if Google wanted to sponsor podcasts? I mean, if we let in the little guys, the big guys are going to follow because that's where the fucking money is. I got no interest in playing that game. I don't want to be a part of it. I have a job. So it's not like I need the money.
First of all, you stink as a capitalist. Second of all, that if one happened to drop off because of your content, then just get another one. They don't have to control your content. They just, they have a choice as you have a choice, right? So you bring them on. They don't like it. They can leave. Get another one.
Do you know it's a little bit different story, but do you know who Alex Jones is?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So that's what happens, I think, when you let corporations control the content, which is exactly what happened to Alex Jones. The corporations, Facebook and Google and all them, they control the content, and Now Alex Jones has no platform.
Well, he has no platform.
I mean, I know it's
yeah.
Huh?
Oh, he has no
What's that?
platform. PayPal
Yeah.
has, dumped him too, so he can't get
Right.
donation through PayPal.
Not
Everyone,
not only
YouTube,
that, but
everybody has dumped that guy.
so did you know that Patreon, who we use,
Mhm.
got a letter from, I can't remember it was an Islamic guy, I guess. They got a letter from MasterCard saying that we're not going to process payments. We want you to drop him as a patron. So Patreon actually dropped someone because MasterCard pressured them to. So this shit's deep.
That's a
I mean?
slippery slope. And that's where I start
Fuck
to get
yeah.
pissed off. When the banks start to get involved and they start getting involved in real money, that's when I say,
Right.
you're stepping over the line. You can't take somebody's, right to free speech. And whether, I mean,
Right.
sure, he's, is he a nutbag? Of course Alex Jones is a nutbag.
Yes,
I mean,
of course he's a nutbag.
Yeah,
I have no respect. I never have had respect for Alex Jones, and the people that listen to Alex Jones, they've always been crazy. For 20 years, they've been crazy.
But that's the entertainment of it, at least to people,
Right?
right? And I'm not saying I'm entertained by it, but people do pay for it because they see the entertainment value. Because anyone who screams, "Turn the frogs gay," come on. I mean, it's not turning frogs gay, right? But
No,
it's the just absurdity of it that you go, oh, he's just trying to be funny,
right. And I think that we moved away from what you asked me, but I think it all ties together. In my mind, it all ties together. If you let the advertisers
Gay
in
frog
at
sponsor
the
your
front,
show.
right?
Okay.
If you let the gay frog sponsor our show, we're fucked.
Now it's a problem.
So if we let Casper Mattress sponsor our show,
yes,
to me, it's a slippery slope down, not just for our pod. And I know that I'm not stupid enough to think that our podcast has any kind of reach or influence, but if everybody just gives in and says, oh, well, this is just the way it is, we have to have advertisements. Fuck that. We don't have to. Me and Doug both have jobs. We don't have to. We do this for fun. If we don't make money, we don't make money. But I'm not going to shill Casper mattresses. I'm not interested.
Okay, then I'll ask the question a different way. What's your end game then? So if it's not sponsors, what's the end game to the podcast for you?
You got it. You're part of the end game right now. The whole thing is the end game, man. There is no end game. This is fucking fun for me. I've never met you before.
Right.
Never would have met you through, any other way. And this conversation has been hilarious and fun for me to have. That's it. That's the end game.
Oh, well, see,
and
then you do have an end game. It's for your entertainment.
Right. And not only that, but I don't know, it sounds super gay, but I really like talking to Doug. It's fucking fun. Me and Doug we have so much fun talking to each other, and we don't get to very much because we're both busy. So it's a great excuse to talk to my buddy.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense.
We get to set aside 2 hours a week to talk to each other, to somebody that I enjoy talking to. It's awesome.
That is cool. That is cool. See, if that's the end game, then you've already reached your goal and you can quit podcasting, which I recommend.
See, that was a long run for that,
I wasn't shooting for it until the end, really. It just came right into my head. I thought, Jesus Christ, you just threw me a softball. You did.
Jesus
You threw me a
Christ,
softball.
Shut the fuck up already. I did. I really did. Anytime somebody starts a sentence with "it's not gay," but
right, then it's a 20-minute explanation of how gay it really is, and there's snuggling,
right.
There's spooning, and then finally there's a shot to the face.
Right. Oh God, I'm not telling you which one of us is getting shot in the face either.
Oh, geez, no.
You'd be surprised.
Oh, really? All right, then.
That's
do
clickbait
tell.
Right there.
Yeah,
You'd
then
be surprised.
Do tell. On the second episode of Anthony and David, we talk about the shooting.
If I did have to record without Doug and I had to record with Shiznit guy and John every week, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't have a podcast. That was not fun.
Oof. Well, what you could do is actually mash those two up and create a podcast where those two are just talking to each other.
That's not a bad idea.
See, this is what producers do. This is what I do all day.
Where did you learn audio producing, or did you just learn it on the fly?
Now, I'm a musician from way, way, way back in the day and know how to use audio equipment and just kind of figured it out along the way and how to do just, audio only stuff. So it wasn't that much of a learning curve for me. It was pretty simple.
What do you play?
I play bass. I know you're a musician too. You play what is it again?
Bag up.
Yeah.
The skin flute.
No,
I would
skin
never I would never consider myself a musician. I have about, I don't know, $8,000 of music gear. Never consider myself a musician. I suck.
Well, come on. You can't be that bad if you spent $8,000. Either that or you're just a narcissist. All right, you're a narcissist. All right.
There you go.
Okay, so what instrument do you play? I don't even know.
I started out playing drums when I was probably 14.
No, I asked you if you played an instrument. Drums aren't an instrument.
Wow. Coming from a bassist, are you fucking kidding me?
Hey, usually we're a bunch of fat guys in the back. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You're really going to come at me with that?
Yeah, keyboard players laugh at bass players. I know. I get it.
Recently, I've been getting into synthesizers, but weird part is that for the most part, I hate synthesized music. Any music that you make with synthesizers fucking blows. But I've been getting into synthesizers because they're cool. I like, actually, if I had to choose, I would make like hip hop music. That's what I would like to make. That'd be fucking awesome. Which I guess goes right along with the drums part of it,
Oh, wow, it's like an autistic enigma. I don't understand you. I don't get it. So you hate synthesizers?
Mm-hmm. No, I love synthesizers.
No, I'm sorry. Let me back up. You hate synthesizer music.
Right,
you hate synthesizer music, but you love the synthesizer.
Right. People don't know how to use it.
Okay. Can you name one person who you think uses it right? Yeah.
I think Dr. Dre did some pretty sweet shit with synthesizers. Right off the top of my head. And there are some Trent Reznor, he was awesome.
Okay. All right. See? So you have some examples of some synth music you dig.
Yeah.
All
Throbbing Gristle. Did you listen to Throbbing Gristle back in the day?
No, but it sounds like I need a penicillin shot after listening to that band. What?
What?
I never heard of these guys.
Throbbing Gristle. You should. It's like the first industrial type music, the first foray into industrial music from like the late 70s. It was awesome.
Oh, okay. My first, I think, entree into synth was probably, yes, I'm guessing back in the late 60s, early 70s.
Yeah, so you know what I'm talking about when I say synth music sucks.
Sucks, yeah. Oh, I get it. Yeah, and then when Rush put it in, I'm like, boo.
I hate Rush. Rush is one of the most overrated bands.
Come on, face it. You're not saying you hate Rush. You're just saying that you hate Canadians. Just say it out loud.
I'm Canadian.
What? You're Canadian?
You're just saying you hate Canadians.
You're self-loathing Canadian?
My grandmother she wasn't even an American citizen. She lived here, but she wasn't a full citizen.
Was she escaping the war of Canada? What the hell?
She must have been. I'm not sure what she was doing, but I know she wasn't an American citizen. She was here. She was here working. I don't know how she pulled that off, but my grandfather was Sikorsky.
Oh my god!
So I'm like Polish Canadian.
So due to the exchange rate, that you became 30% dumber when you came here to the U.S. Is that how that worked?
Right.
Excellent. All right, I'm just checking it out.
I was born here. Doesn't that make me like 60% dumber?
Oh, it could. Yeah. Wait, I got to redo my. 60. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. You had to carry the one, right?
That's right. I didn't know you were Canadian. Now that does explain a lot of things, though.
I was born in California too. Does that explain more?
Wow. Well, it explains the liberal side of you. Yeah, I get it now.
Right. Yeah. Yes, it does. It really does. It's crazy.
But now you live in the Midwest, I know, and I don't think that
Yes.
you divulge where, but I know where you lived or still live.
Not far from you if you live near Chicago.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. I'm right out in the burbs, so you're a little further west, but I know where
Yeah.
you come from here,
Yeah.
and I know it's because of your job, and I know based on Doug, what you do, and of course you don't talk about that here, which is
Yeah. I could tell you what I do. I'm a tool maker by trade,
you
but
make
just
so you're you cut dies then,
tool.
right? A tool and die guy.
I do. We don't do much dye work, but yes,
Okay.
all our dye work has been replaced by lasers and
Machines.
presses.
Yeah. Got it. Okay.
But yes,
So now, have you lived? How long have you lived where you live now?
So
Oh wait,
geez.
I'm boring myself. Next question. All right.
No. We're going through this. We're going through the history of Anthony.
Oh God. Oh, actually, I do have some interesting Anthony questions. So go ahead, please. Go on.
We moved here from Las Vegas in 1988.
No, of course. You moved here in 88. So is that so I assumed that you went to high school out west.
I went to high school here.
Oh.
I'm only 38 years old.
Oh, you're 38. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I thought you were 72.
Yeah, so
Sorry.
do I act that way?
No, you just you got grumpy old man syndrome on the podcast. That's why I just assumed.
Wow. I didn't know that. You learn a lot about yourself on this show.
That's right.
We moved here. This is my grandma's house that I'm in right now. We moved in with my grandma. She got old, so I ended up buying her house. So I've lived in this house since 1988, but there was a few years where we moved out and I moved back in. 10 years to be precise, I guess.
Wow. Yeah, I got nothing on that. I have absolutely nothing, because I don't want to make fun of your grandmother, because that would be just rude, and she's probably not even alive right now.
Nope, not anymore. She's not.
Oh, she's free game.
Yesterday was the anniversary of her death, so have at her.
Oh, you're not one of those guys that does that celebrating of the death days, are you?
Fuck no. My sister texted me and said, "You should call mom. Grandma died however many years ago today." I just didn't respond. Call her. Hey, your mom died. How's it going? That's fucking dumb. I'm not that person.
My brother texts me every anniversary of our mother's death, and our mom died about, I don't know, like 8 years ago. You could laugh. And when she died,
hilarious.
Oh yeah, it's super funny now. Not so much at the time, but you get the humor over the years. So every single year he texts me, he says, yeah, it's mom died on this day. I still miss her. And then he sends out a Facebook post that is melodramatic. Oh, I'm missing my best friend. I'm like, oh my God. You know what? You got to reel it back in, son. Reel it back in. You can't be celebrating somebody's death. I wouldn't want somebody doing that to me. If I died, I'd want Juliet going finding some new big cock tomorrow.
Right.
Going, enjoy your life, have fun. Don't worry about me. I can't do anything about it. I'm kind of, pushing daisies at this point. Who the hell cares?
I told my wife when I die, or if we ever get a divorce, I want her to find the biggest, blackest cock she can find. That's what it's. I mean, why not?
And then she called Doug.
Right. I said blackest.
And then she called Doug. Not a lot of people know, Doug is black. So I'm just going to pull the covers back.
Doug's black.
I'm pulling the covers back a little bit.
Right.
Well, around here, my biggest fear is not actually dying, but, having too much insurance on myself to where, the dying is, a constant threat. Juliet says, "Hey, just watch out for the banana peels of the stairs." Watch out.
I don't have to worry about that. I'm gonna die broke, I think.
I'm worth more dead than alive. That's never a good thing, by the way.
It's not. You're right. That was another thing that when I do this podcast, this is another thing I think after I'm dead, and this is the reason that I probably should quit. After I'm dead, my kids are going to be old enough to listen to this garbage. So they're going to go back and hear some of the shit that I said. They're going to look at me in a whole new light.
They're going to love it. They're going to say, I wish I knew Dad like this. I wish he loved us as much as he loved his podcast.
I think they say that now.
Yeah. Why doesn't Daddy spend time with us? He's got a microphone in front of his mouth all this time. Shut up. I'm recording. Does that happen at your house all the time? Shut up. I'm recording.
No, because I got my own little special room, and they know better. Oh, stay the fuck out of it.
Daddy dearest. Nice.
Right. Yeah. I walled off the back half of my garage, and it's mine.
Yeah, that and your smiley, happy, or what is it? Balloon picture that hangs up behind you that I saw one time.
Sonic Youth. It's not a balloon. it's a crocheted animal. You don't know Sonic Youth?
I do know Sonic Youth, actually. Yeah,
that's like the most iconic Sonic Youth cover ever. What kind of music are you into?
You're gonna laugh. But
I am. You're right.
I don't care because I know that you're into everything from punk to all kinds of stuff. But I listen to everything. I mean, when I say everything, I mean everything. I'm a fan of a lot of different kind of music. But lately, I listen to like old outlaw country.
Really?
Oh yeah. Like George Jones, Waylon Jennings, Chris Christopherson, that kind of stuff. That those guys that just did not give one fuck about anything or anyone and just did it the way they wanted to do it. And Willie, too. You got to love Willie just for loving Willie.
That's not something to laugh at. That's serious business. That's good. I thought you were going to say like the Beach Boys or some gay shit like that.
Well, anytime people say country, they go right to, oh, you're a Luke Bryan fan? No, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
Yeah, exactly. So you clarified it. You outlaw country. You have to say it like that. You can't just say country and then come back and say, oh, but only outlaw country. You can't do that. You have to come straight out with the outlaw country.
Yeah, hold on. I'm jotting down notes next time I talk to somebody about country. Outlaw, lead with outlaw, end with go fuck outlaw. Yourself. Okay, I got it.
Or anytime you're talking to anybody, end with go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
You know what? You might as well start with that too.
Yeah, you know what? That's a good point. I should do that more often. You're doing yours in your garage. Matter of fact, I'm recording in the garage right now too. I don't know if it's a little bouncy in here, but I don't care. Go fuck yourself. See, that does work.
see, it works.
I'm kind of liking this. I got to start doing that in business
have an
meetings.
Actual studio? You should. Do you go to business meetings? I've never been to a business meeting.
Oh,
Can I come to your next one?
Oh, no, you can't. No. I live such a weird, like Clark Kent versus Superman kind of life, It's
really,
yeah. What I do for professionally and what I do for the podcast are two totally different things, and that's why I never use my last name.
I thought your last name was producer.
No, it's the producer. Actually, the is my middle name. Sorry,
the producer.
Yeah,
the middle name. Gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah, the questions still aren't getting harder. Go ahead.
So what do you do? What's your address?
Yeah. What's your social security number? I'm a bank in Nigeria that has some cash for you that will deliver it to you if you.
Right.
No, I just I keep it as personal. My personal stuff as personal as I can, and.
Gotcha.
Juliet doesn't. Yeah. I mean, just like you do. You only share so much, and then the rest is, kind of behind the covers because,
Right. They're gonna firebomb your house. People are assholes, man.
I never say or do anything that kind of would lead to that. At least I hope. But it's just like a separation of church and state. That's all. Makes it.
I understand.
Easy. Makes it easy.
Yeah, I understand.
Now back to the world of Anthony.
All right.
Yeah, I got nothing. You're
I got nothing.
You're like cellophane. I could see right through you. I got nothing.
I don't think that's true.
No.
I think there's a lot about me that you would be surprised.
Oh, well, do share.
I got nothing.
No, you do. Come on. You got skeletons.
No,
oh my God.
I do, but I ain't gonna tell you.
Oh yeah, come on. One dead hooker, one Saturday night. It happens. Tell me your Kavanaugh story.
Oh God, me and my wife were just talking about that yesterday. I always believe the accused. Wait, does that make sense?
The person who's being accused, you believe?
That was a joke. It was just not a very good one. It fell flat.
Oh, that was
Moving on.
Okay. You know what? I can cut that out in post. Don't worry.
Sure, don't worry. I'll cut that out in post.
Yeah, don't worry. I got that in post.
By this point in the podcast, I'm used to my jokes falling flat, so we're good to go. You can go ahead and leave that one in. I don't even care.
Yeah, dude, you
Just
have
that one,
a 40-minute in shit the bed moment to every podcast, don't you?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh,
My brain doesn't work.
You're already sleepy? You
embrace-
just goddamn woke up. Holy crap.
No, it has nothing to do with being sleepy. You have to embrace who you are, and who I am is my brain just doesn't fucking work right sometimes.
And this segment sponsored by Casper Mattress.
Oh, you're killing me. I told you who I want our sponsor to be. Now we're talking about sponsors. Remember that scrotum stretching guy? Wait, no.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Foreskin stretching.
The foreskin machine. Yeah.
Yes. So I'm okay with that guy sponsoring our show. And I can't, even in my own head, I can't make sense of why he would be okay and Casper mattresses wouldn't be okay, because I could fuck on a Casper mattress. I don't care, So what difference does it make if I get scrotum, the penis stretching guy or the Casper mattresses?
And why doesn't he get creative and just call his company 8 Skin? Really? I mean, if you're going to stretch it out, why? See, I did the 40-minute joke killing thing. See what I did there?
When you call attention to it, it doesn't work. You gotta let it die. You gotta let it die organically.
No, I'm going to do my own car crash sound. No, I'm throwing it out there. When I throw out a shit ball, I'm going to make sure that I try to hit it out of the park.
I appreciate that.
No, so this is the last week without Doug, and I'm sure that you've spent the last 3 weeks prepping for when he comes back, right?
Yep.
Right. And by prepping, I mean
Right.
napping, right?
Right, yeah. I work a lot. We'll go with that.
I work a lot. Oh, Jesus Christ. I just picture you punching out at work and going, done. Yeah.
Done.
Yeah.
I punch in and go, done.
Yeah. That I can see. Yes. So, I know Doug has entertained this idea of doing more than one podcast, right? Mm-hmm. He's, kind of been on other podcasts or, guest hosted like on, Who Are These Podcasts and John's show, and him and John were talking about doing something. You ever think about doing that?
Yeah, I think about it all the time, and I'm man, I don't want to do that. I got no interest. I mean, well, that's not true. If I could find somebody that's interesting to talk to and fun to talk to, and when I'm done recording, I'm like, man, that was a good time, then yeah, for sure. But every time I've ever been on another podcast or talked to anybody else, nah.
Well, and where I'm getting at is really that, this is an audition for me to take over Doug's spot, because I'm just going to tell him to go fuck himself. Well, is it my new catchphrase, right? I got the T-shirts all lined up. Go fuck yourself. And
Sweet.
It's going to be the Anthony.
Speaking of
I'm sorry, the
T-shirts,
David and Anthony show. We do.
We
got to
break in
first.
here.
Yeah, go ahead.
We got to break in here. Speaking of T-shirts,
yes.
Go get your shirts from We Have Merch. All right, go ahead with your story.
Yes, Shiloh. He has the best website out there. WeHaveMerch.com. He's an awesome guy if you're a podcaster and you want podcast merchandise, or if you're a listener of podcasts and want to buy podcaster merchandise, go to WeHaveMerch.com. He's awesome. He just made us a new mug that changes colors, like magically.
I don't have a fucking mug that changes colors. What the fuck, Shiloh?
You put hot liquid in it, and not lukewarm like you get from your sack. Just a little bit of like a hot tea or hot coffee, and it changes colors. It's awesome. It's awesome.
I don't want one of them fuckers.
No,
Send
it's
me
an
one of them
exclusive unwritable rant thing that we said we have the rights of first refusal, and we said
don't
right.
Send one to Anthony.
Yeah, don't send one to Anthony, even if he buys it. Just hold it back.
Oh boy, you almost got coffee on the mic on that one. That was funny. Even if he buys it.
Even if he buys it, and
yeah, you're way better at talking people up than me. See.
It's my background. That's I can't say I'm in sales. So there you go.
There you go. All right. Well, there you go. Go to that website that he said a few minutes ago or something.
You are a
I
pro.
think I should go into sales. I don't mind advertising for him.
Oh well, yeah, because he's a good guy,
mind.
and he's done
Exactly,
all of
that's
us. He's doing us all great favors, right? I mean, he's created things from like flasks for our show. He did like poker chips for you guys that were specialized. You can't get that from just like a merch shop, right? He does cool stuff. So big thumbs up to him.
Right. There you go. There's your advertisement for the day.
Now here's the new T-shirt idea. Go fuck yourself. There you go.
Go fuck yourself. Now, would you wear that to work?
To work? Would you wear that to a baptism? No, of course not. I can't.
He sent me a shirt that says "white asshole" and it's like in the lettering of White Castle. I wear that to work all the time.
Well, obviously the Denny's doesn't care what you wear, right? They don't have a very stringent dress code at the Denny's, so I get it.
Exactly. Love Denny's.
Moon over Miami. What's there not to love?
Right. Exactly, man. Brings back good memories from my childhood. Mom used to sit me at the Denny's.
Throw $5 your way, go out and blow a sailor in the parking lot, and then you're done.
Right. You're done. Right.
Hey, how's the Who's Right? Now, speaking of sailors, how's the Who's Right Navy going? I see that's taken off.
We have our own subreddit.
Well, that's a start. But I will say it's highly ironic that the Who's Right Navy, all of a sudden there's ships that are like inside of Doug's house because of the hurricane. I'm just saying.
We should have brought in the Navy to help them out.
Exactly.
Damn it. We missed a great opportunity.
Right? Yeah, that could have been an excellent marketing opportunity. Who's Right Navy? Go bail out Doug.
Why didn't you come up with this idea before? Damn it.
Because
you need to be our marketing guy.
I do. You need a marketing representative of some sort. Doug does a good job on the graphics. I will say that, and I do like the cartoon figures of you guys. That whoever came up with that stuff is actually genius. I love that stuff.
He had somebody that drew those, and they had a falling out, so we only have what we have. I think there's like 8 or 10 of them or something.
Is this all going to come back to your Canadian grandmother? I'm just curious.
No.
Oh, okay.
Everything always comes back to my dead Canadian grandmother.
That's the T-shirt I want.
That's perfect. Everything always comes back to my dead Canadian.
Anthony's dead Canadian grandmother. Just have a wilted maple leaf. Oh, I'm in. I can see this marketing plan all the way through.
I don't know that you can. I don't know that you have the cojones to market this show.
Oh, don't test me. I have Shiloh. I have Shiloh on hot standby on my cell phone right now. I'm going to be making a call right after the show.
He's printing the show. He's printing the shirts as we speak.
That's right. Shiloh gives 0 fucks.
Oh, yeah. He's great.
So now, what do you do in your off time? All right. So you have the show. You have your work. You sleep these weird, odd hours. Besides for, killing stray dogs, what do you do for your spare time?
And cats.
Yeah, and cats. Dumber.
What do I do in my spare time? I spend a lot of time with my wife and kids. That's about it. We watch Bob's Burgers, watch The Office, eat food, play music. I like card games with my kids. That's about it. I'm boring. Why do you think I never have any stories? I'm boring. I don't do shit.
Yeah,
I shoot guns every once in a while.
The idea of having a podcast revolves around bringing stories and things and fun anecdotes to the table. This is why Doug talks a lot.
I've proven that's not true. I got nothing. I literally have no stories to tell ever because I'm a very boring person. But I really like to talk, right? So this is my opportunity. Everybody at work just tells me, shut up, you talk too much.
If all of this were true, my Aunt Pat should have her own fucking podcast then.
Aunt Pat or Uncle Pat?
Aunt Pat, Patricia. Yeah, she should have her own podcast because she will talk to you for an hour and say nothing. So what you're saying is that's how you got a podcast.
Right. How? Okay, wait. How I got a podcast is we got on the internet and found the fucking people that'll take our money, and then I bought a microphone and started talking into it. That's it. That's literally the only requirements that you have to have is like $30 a month or something. So if you've got $30 a month, you can have a podcast too.
No, that's true. That's true. But see, I don't feel that people would want that. I'm not interesting enough to have a podcast. True. I mean, that's why I don't do a podcast. I'm not interesting enough.
Have you? I'm not either. So you find yourself an interesting host.
Well, obviously, this podcast doesn't have either of those things.
Hey, I'm doing you a favor here. Wait, I mean, you're doing me a favor here.
Yeah, I don't know who's doing who the favor here. I'm kind of confused now.
This is
It's turned into fucking therapy. Yeah, it's turned into therapy. It really has.
This whole show is just an advertisement for your guys' show. That's it. I'm helping you out.
I thought it was for Casper mattress.
Exactly. Don't you sleep on a Casper mattress?
And for wilted maple leaves.
I honestly, even since I was I never did shit. I'm not a social person. I don't go out and do things. I don't know. I'm just boring. My life is fucking boring.
Okay, so this is my hope. So again, Doug's been gone for 3 weeks.
Right.
In South America, or no, really the French Alps, swapping children's story with Roman Polanski, whatever the hell he's doing. I don't know where he's been. So he's gone for 3 weeks. And now you're going to have him back next week. Are you going to change anything in the show?
Why? Why would you mess with success?
Oh, please tell me the comedy. I was hoping you were going to say comedy.
No,
there was one good answer to that question.
We're going to add comedy to the show?
Yes. Just a touch.
Every time I say something funny, Doug says, we're moving on. That's not funny. Go.
No, that's funny. See how he turned that
funny.
around? Yeah, exactly.
He said, be more funny. I can't work under this kind of pressure.
Well, you've pretty much sucked everything out of this stone. I got nothing left. I don't know.
So what I want to know is on the episodes where we actually get into an actual argument on the show, and if it seems like the whole show is collapsing right on air, what do you think of those shows?
Those are my favorite ones.
Oh, really?
Oh, absolutely. The tension is what becomes funny.
Really?
Oh, absolutely. When you could tell that you're both annoyed that you're done, but you still go on for another half an hour, that makes me listen to that stupid half an hour.
Perfect. Now I know how to draw you in.
Yeah, see,
you work. Those are the shows that when I'm done and I'm like, I'm fucking done podcasting. Fuck this podcasting bullshit.
Right. It's the tension. Well, it's an old playoff of like Howard Stern's playbook, right? It's just like make people really uncomfortable and they won't stop listening.
All right. On that note, I've never listened to an episode of Howard Stern.
Is that a Canadian thing?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Jesus.
Well, I just didn't understand.
Did you not own an FM radio as a kind of child or in your midlife? Nothing.
So I grew up on punk rock music, and I shunned FM radio 100%. And if it was on the radio, I'm out.
So you never liked talk radio? Talk radio wasn't your thing, like morning radio shows,
or anything on if it was on the radio, it was mainstream, and I didn't want nothing to do with it. I was a douche.
So I'm going to make a huge leap of faith here and say that you've received all of your comedy from punk rock music. This makes sense.
Does it?
It does. Yeah.
All right. Did you listen to when I was on Po Boy's podcast?
I did.
I don't know if you listened to the show.
I listened to the whole thing and learned a lot about punk rock music. I learned nothing about Anthony. Zero about Anthony.
You did then.
Well, I mean, I heard that album that you had shared with Jody B, and that album was we'll call it interesting punk rock album.
All right.
So I learned that you have eclectic tastes, but other than that,
Right.
I learned nothing about Anthony.
That whole experience was, I think I just doubled that band's audience, tripled maybe even.
Yeah, have they sent you like a dead rooster as a thank you, for
Right.
getting what you got for them?
Even though that came out when I was like 16 and like those guys are probably dead by now.
Did that actually get back to them? Did you ever hear any word or anything like anyone tag them or, anything come out of that?
They're not around anymore.
Yeah, they're probably bankers now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
You're probably
bankers.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
They conformed. They all do.
Damn it.
Look at Johnny Rotten.
No, it sucks.
Come on, he's a total capitalist.
Capitalists are the worst. The only thing that sucks is that me and Doug used to argue about this all the time. I've always been somebody that's not a huge fan of capitalism in the form that we have it now, right?
Oh, this is going to turn into a 2-hour podcast now. Okay, go on.
Of course. The problem that I have is that I think that communism, 100% worse. And whatever other kind of system they have, I don't know that it would be much better. So I don't know where that leaves me.
Where does it leave you? Socialism?
I think that we should have a mix of socialism, capitalism. Yeah, somewhere in there. A healthy mix. I think that things that are for the public good should be socialized.
What do you think? Where does capitalism break down for you?
Where does capitalism break down for me?
Besides for spelling it.
That's funny. So I think we went over this. A product of capitalism is that advertisers drive everything, and I fucking hate advertisers.
You made that clear. Yeah, you're totally against advertisers, but leave advertising and we'll call it entertainment out of it. Okay, so just business. Business.
So okay.
Okay.
So let's say you have cancer. Your body is, I don't know what you weigh, 600 pounds?
God, I wish I had cancer right now. Jesus.
The aggressive kind.
Yeah, take me out now. No, I'm not. Okay, let's say I'm 600 pounds. Okay.
All right, 500. We'll give you the benefit of the doubt.
Yes.
500 pounds of your body has cancer. How much can that cancer's sole job is to spread and get bigger and bigger and bigger? There's only so much of your 500 pounds that cancer that can sustain that cancer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Before you're just not alive anymore. So how much can, if you take that analogy and put it onto capitalism, how much can capitalism spread before there's just nothing else to spread to and everything's just drained?
See, now your argument right up front was a little flawed because you used a very negative thing that grows, as in cancer, where let's say it's, birthday cake. 500 pounds of birthday cake. Now I got 600 pounds of birthday cake. I love birthday cake. Let's have more birthday cake. I will eat 700 pounds of birthday cake. I love it.
But the problem with your analogy is that if you ate 700 pounds of birthday cake, you would be dead.
I don't have to eat it all at once. Wait, is this an eating show or is where'd this turn? Jesus. Holy crap.
It took a weird turn, didn't it?
Yeah, it got really weird for a second there. No, but capitalism, if treated the right way, and let's face it, and I'm not a huge fan of, quote unquote, I hate air quotes, regulation. Government is in place to regulate certain kinds of things like monopolies, right? They've done it since what, the 20s?
Mm-hmm. Not very well, but okay.
Yeah, and there's rules to bend, and they do them quite often. But monopolies is an example of a regulatory thing that they put in place. They also put in things like utilities, right? Utilities like gas and electric, that they do regulate those so that there isn't a single point of entry where everyone controls the energy of the country, right? They make sure that it's fair or shared across either multiple states, counties, regions, whatever the hell. Now, they've done that with businesses and banks, right? You know that they have regulatory commissions as it relates to banking. So isn't that enough for you to where they can't control everything, that they're now these little or bigger but still non-controlling factors in either finance or mortgages or a business?
We're just pretending now? Is that what we're doing?
Oh, we're not pretending. You
But you
think
are,
that
though. You just said non-controlling.
yeah,
How in the
non-controlling.
world? How? How are they non-controlling? They control everything.
No, well, you're breaking it into one big thing. Is the financial services companies control everything, right? But that's the aggregate. They're not all sitting in a back room going, rolling their hands together saying, "We control the world." They don't do that.
Does
They
that make
can't
it
do
any
that.
better? Does that make it any better or not worse? Does that? I mean,
Well, it controls limits on what they can do. They can only charge so much, interest when certain things happen. In
sure,
mortgages, they can have only certain percentages that you pay. So it's a
sure.
fair and balanced system to the economy of the people, right?
No,
You think that mortgage rates are too high right now? They're the best they've ever been.
I don't think that that's specifically what I'm talking about. I don't care what mortgage rates are. I think that when you have a system that's skewed so much towards the top, we have a problem.
But you're talking about the top of people who make the money, or are you talking about the financial services companies that are offering the services that they offer to the general public?
Okay, wait. So first of all, I have to say that this conversation is going to be skewed because you're a lot smarter than I am. I'm not sure what you're asking me. This is so much easier with Doug. Was that a slam?
No,
It didn't mean to be a slam.
it's not a slam. Doug's stupid.
Hey.
No, we love Doug. We can't wait for him to come back next week because I sure the fuck don't want to do this again. I'd rather be on a podcast with somebody that can be, that has an opinion.
Oh,
I'm messing with you. No, but next time you argue capitalism, you probably just want to talk about White Castle T-shirts again. That's all I'm saying.
Why? I am fascinated to talk about capitalism to somebody who actually thinks that the system that we have now is working and good and not broken.
No, it's not perfect. Nothing's perfect. Yeah, no system in our country is perfect. I will absolutely state that. Can it be better? Absolutely. Can there be even better or more regulations in certain areas? If we're careful, sure. Yeah, I'm totally up for that.
Why do we have to be careful?
Because you can shake an economy based on the rules and regulations that you put in place and not know the net effect of them as it relates to the economy 1 year down the line, 4 years down the line, 5 years down the line. You got to be careful in understanding that.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree that you're under the impression that regulation is a negative thing, that the idea behind regulation is to stifle innovation, which is I fucking hate that term when they say that. Nobody wants to innovate. Nobody's trying to innovate. They're all trying to make a profit. There's no innovation that's trying to be had. When they say stifle innovation, that just means suck money from the top.
No, that's actually not true because I do work for a tech company, and I'll tell you why it's important that way. So if you're in a tech company and it's a public tech company, you always worry about a thing called EBITDA. And EBITDA is basically the bottom line of your net margins versus the spend that you have as a company in the different areas between R&D, the people you bring on, all of that. Now, if they added another tax to a certain area of that company, that could have that company innovate less because they'd be spending less in R&D because they have to meet the Wall Street numbers. So that actually is a true statement.
I think when you just said that, when you have to meet you have to meet Wall Street numbers.
Yes.
I think that's where you lose me. Why? Why do you have to meet Wall Street numbers? Why do we have a system that is beholden to Wall Street?
That only goes. The good news is that only goes for public companies. Private companies are not beholden to that, which is awesome, right? So public companies, and that's why private companies end up, the smaller ones end up becoming these kind of ultra fast, big growing companies pretty quickly in some certain instances because they have the ability to spend more in R&D along the way. The public companies, the reason why that is because the analysts that cover them expect them to have a very specific margin of profitability within each different sector. Every sector is a little bit different, and it's based on the market that they're categorized in. So if you're in manufacturing, you should have a 5 to 10%, and I'm making up these numbers, by the way, 5 to 10% ability or growth year over year in revenue, or that your margins increase 5 to 10% a year, whatever that number is per market.
Yeah.
Those are determined by the analysts. And are the analysts evil? I absolutely believe so.
What?
Because they guess. There's a lot of guesswork that happens within the analysts. And the analysts don't always, and some analysts are more powerful than others, and other investors will follow analysts and will invest based on an analyst and what they say. So they're kind of like the mouthpiece, right, for those companies in a public way. So it gets really complicated on where the money goes and how it flows based on who you are and what you're saying to the street.
But I think you're just strengthening my argument. Why does it have to be that way? Why does it have to be so complicated? Why can't don't dump chrome into the river, right? It's pretty basic.
That's environmental
right?
stuff. I mean, that's environmental stuff. Yeah, I mean that's the simple stuff, right? Don't be an asshole, right? Just do what's right for the the environment.
Right.
Be a good corporate citizen. Don't treat your workers like shit. Yeah, I mean that's and
you have to have regulations for that, because
and
under a capitalist system, without regulations, workers would be treated like shit, because the bottom line is the profit. And in that system, the workers are just a moving piece, which is what I don't like. That's another thing. I look at it more idealistically, right? I don't want to be a cog in a machine, and I don't want all the workers to be looked at as a necessary force or a necessary piece in this machine that has to fit together. How can we minimize the payment to the parts of the machine? Do you understand what I mean? Why can't we look at people as people? Capitalism forces us to look at people as commodities.
Well,
right.
I don't know if people are commodities, but the corporations themselves are commodities that are obviously commodities because they're traded, right? So they are a commodity. Yes. A company is. Now, a company is made up of a collective of people, and those people are supposed to help get to the goal of what the commodity needs to make, right? But you have made that choice as an individual to work for a company that has those goals or has to reach those things to do what's right in the public. Yeah, you have. You could start your own business.
Listen, I have made that choice, but I didn't make that choice willingly. I don't want to be a part of this system, but I'm way too lazy to do anything else, so I'm forced into it.
See, and that's where the system breaks down, in laziness. Right. And when in the hell did this become Meet the Press? What the hell happened? Jesus, we were talking about go fuck yourself T-shirts, and now all of a sudden we're talking about Wall Street.
So I think about starting my own business probably 15 to 20 times a day. And my wife at this point is about sick and fucking tired of hearing me talk. I've never been rock climbing in my life, right? Never climbed anything. But I told my wife that I wanted to start a indoor rock climbing business. That was her reaction.
Exactly.
So that's where my head is, right?
Well, the reason why I find this funny, by the way, is because I know where you live, and really close to you, there's like all these rock canyon walls that are outdoors.
Right.
Oh, geez.
I didn't say it was a good idea.
Right. I get it. No, but you do have a choice, is my whole thing. And let me break this down just with two final statements.
All right.
One. Let's never talk about this again.
2, go fuck yourself.
Go fuck yourself. Yeah.
Perfect. So, you seen any good movies lately?
Yeah, Wall Street, by the way.
Wall Street.
You will never become Gordon Gekko. I'm just saying.
I don't know who that is, but you're probably right.
Well, he's one of the characters in Wall Street. I hate to break the fourth wall, but
Do you?
not really.
Me neither.
Well, this is been as fun as a barrel full of dead monkeys. So I appreciate you having me on.
Love dead monkeys.
And I can't wait for Doug to get back. This is a lot harder than I thought it would be.
Is it really?
Oh, just an hour with Anthony is like the six longest hours of my life.
I hear that a lot.
No, this was awesome, though, man. I appreciate you having me on, and we had a little bit of goofy talk, a little bit of intellectual talk, and hopefully that we didn't.
Not really. We had intellectual talk coming from one direction. I'm too stupid to talk intellectual, but I try anyways for some dumbass reason.
You kept up with at least a couple of vowels in there that I recognize, so I appreciate that.
Right. That's all that matters.
Absolutely.
Well, I appreciate you coming on, stepping in for Doug. Next week he'll be back. Everything will be back to normal. Everybody can stop listening.
As normal as Doug can be.
That's normal, right?
I'm looking forward to the hurricane stories.
Me too.
And if he has one, blowjob joke, I swear I'm going to turn off the show. I mean, tell him not to go for the hack stuff, will you? Just tell him up front.
What about me? Can I go for the hack stuff?
You totally. I expect it from you. Yeah.
All right, cool. That's all I got, man.